What's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of All Day Insider. We're going to do a little meet and greet today. Just go over who we got here with us and answer a couple questions, talk about state of the market, and a little bit about everything all day. So today, and always, we have Phoenix, Blazing Arrow, and Stingray here with us. We're just going to chat with you guys a little bit today and see how it goes. So what do we got on the docket today, boys? What are we going over?
Well, I think it's the most important thing to start off with is morning game. We don't have to worry about Dalvin Cook or Latavius Murray messing up any of the day slate
Were
challenges.
we worried about Latavius Murray though that much? I'm just
Uh, it's always back in your mind, I'd say.
all right, fair
Weirder
enough.
things have happened.
Could have been a little wrinkle, I guess.
So Stingray is just in the form of an actual stingray, which I like.
Yes.
And then
She says
Blaze
so
is in the form of Walmart Aaron Murray or Aaron Rodgers.
Walmart Aaron Rodgers. That's awesome.
Oh Lord. Yeah, so let's go over first things first. I guess for everyone watching, everyone likes to know the same things, and state of the market is a good one. Prices and all that fun stuff. How is that looking to you guys? I know your accounts probably look a little different than mine, but hey, let's go over what you guys are looking at over there. What you got for us, Phoenix?
Well, it looks like it stabilized a little bit. After the first week or two of the playbook, watching the accounts fluctuate between 30 and 40%. I know everybody was dealing with a little bit of chaos, and then with the big dip before the pack drop, seems to have picked up a little bit after that pack drop, and now stabilized a bit. I noticed it was down. I checked this morning. Looked like it was down. Maybe at least my account was about down 5%, and looked like everything was down a little bit across the board. But wondering if now that it's 1 o'clock, let's see if we get a little uptick there and see what this week brings with the playbook.
Yeah, it seems like it seems like the rise and fall all comes with playbook right now, right? Like, so they did a good job introducing the off playbook challenge, but it seems like right now it's rise until Monday night and then fall back down until about Thursday night. That's what I've noticed. I don't know if that's the same for everybody else, but
I think that when Playbook was introduced, it gave the market like the pump that we've been waiting for. The problem is it's just not sustainable because people are automatically dumping their moments the second they don't need them. So for my account personally, it was up big when Playbook started, and that just happened to be because the bulk of my account is commons. I mean, I obviously have legendaries in there as well, but I sold my rares to complete every common set that I could, and then actually I just went and started second common sets as well. So when Playbook first arrived, I got this massive pump, and then what happened was as soon as people didn't need those moments, they just started dumping them off, and I saw a massive fall off.
right.
So realistically, that means that legendaries and rares, for the most part, have been seeing like a steady decrease, but it hasn't been massive like commons have. So when you get a pump for a common that you spent $8 for, and it goes up to 40, and then nobody needs it anymore, and they sell it for $8 or $6, then your account is fluctuating like crazy. Whereas legendaries and rares weren't necessary, so you would see like a couple percent here and there, but it wasn't anything crazy.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing too, is they almost switched it up. We're glad they switched it up in a way, right? But I mean, it sort of hurt everybody. Everyone was like, oh, let's stack all the commons to get the playbook. And then now they're like, oh, we're listening to everybody and you now need rares. And it's like, okay, now the game's changed and everyone has all these commons stacked for playbook. And now,
Exactly.
what do we do on the back end? So
And it really just depends. One thing. It really just depends too on like what your goal is with all day. Because if you are here for the gamification, that, like, I believe, Roy, you're more of a gamification guy. You're selling and buying into the market movement more so than like myself, which I'm here, I buy it, I don't sell anything. Unless it's just a major pump, I'm not going to sell. So it really just depends on your style and how you're going to play it.
Yep, I think I'm doing exactly the same. I don't know about you guys. I buy into sometimes I buy into challenges a little high, complete them, and then I don't resell, and then I just keep the moment. So I'm actually at a big loss on a couple of them. But I mean, hopefully that evens out when they are needed again. But who knows?
I took a different approach with everything. I mean, I had the same idea from the beginning. Pretty much own every single common and rare across the board, so that when a playbook or challenges were implemented, I pretty much could just, it's free money for me. It's a free roll, and just work with that pack luck. And I mean, just for example, I mean, I haven't had to put any money into any of the challenges or buy any moments for the last 3 weeks, and I won't have to this week either. I do own the locked in set, so the extra 50 bonus points for the rares, pretty much solidifies that I'm going to get the 100 yards. And I've been on average, actually been getting about positive 275 on average the past 3 weeks with the polls, and that's with just the burn and no moments. And that's kind of like that's been my philosophy coming in. Just try to stay on top of all the new moments that come out, own one of every player, and just continue to kind of do that grind week by week, and get a little pack luck, a low good low number on a serial number on a rare, or possibly pull a legendary in one of these weeks, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, I feel that. Blaze, what you noticing? What you noticing in your old wallet over there?
It's definitely been painful on the rares, that's for sure. I've pretty much, coming out of the summer, had mostly collected a lot of rares for various players, kind of neglected the common side of things unless that was their only moment. And yeah, you see that value trickle away pretty significantly as less and less need for that player arises. So hopefully we'll see in the future some changes in terms of, or not so much the playbook, but kind of additional challenges, kind of in the style that they had for the during the summertime with the tiers. I think we kind of got a taste of that with the recent one on defense. That's still happening.
Yeah, that defensive one seemed to be like a breath of fresh air. They had to be listening in because they were hearing the same things everyone else was. Is rares seemed to have no use. Rares were falling to $30 sometimes, and then good rares obviously holding a little bit more value. But I think they listened a little when it came to that defensive challenge, and I think hopefully the tiered challenges like that will come in more and be help out the wallets a little bit.
Yeah, and just like hopefully they're kind of saving that usage for when they start doing the minted to completion moments. They come into more play there.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm looking forward to the most. Love those.
All right, so I think we want to swap. Let's talk a little bit about the actual game, of football. So, any big news in the NFL you think will alter playbook or not playbook, alter NFL all day? Any? I think Tua is the first one that comes to mind. Just seeing, how he bounces back, when he bounces back, and how good he is after. That definitely would matter. Other than that, though, that being the big glaring one, are there any that anybody can think of offhand?
It's interesting to see how the market reacted to that. You obviously kind of expect a couple people to ditch him, and just we'll see what happens if there's significantly bad news in terms of how long he'll be out. What happens further, right? Because I think the lowest I saw was somewhere around 180.
Oh, on his rare, yeah.
Yeah, on his debut.
That was significantly down from what it had been selling to. So
yeah, it was at like mid threes at one point.
Right. And then I know everyone is talking about Sterling Shepard as well being out, being the new burn moment of the week, right? So everyone expect that mint count to be low. I'd grab one.
Yep.
Um,
And then
who else? Anybody
for the
else?
current week, I know like Detroit with St. Brown and Swift being out. I mean that's a big knock this week. And when's Keenan Allen coming back? Is Rush going to take Dak Prescott's job?
Oh, I hope so.
Me too, right?
I don't know. He's looking pretty decent though.
He's just not making those mistakes.
The other one actually is Zay Jones is hurt too, I think, and who's been getting a ton of targets from Lawrence.
Oh yeah, that's true. Who's the other big receiver over there that needs to step up? Christian Kirk.
Yeah, I think his stats were pretty good last week, if I recall. Okay. But yeah, Lawrence has started off pretty hot too, and the Jags in general actually started off pretty hot, and weren't they the highest scoring offense in the challenge last week?
What was that? I don't remember, sadly. That's the other one I'm worried about or wondering about is Mitchell. Has there been any update at all on Elijah Mitchell? Because his stock tanked when he got hurt.
If anybody wants a jersey, I got one available for cheap.
Oh wow! I saw something. It was $700, $750 maybe for his Lego the other day.
God, I know his debute's down to like 15 or something crazy. That triple badge debut.
Yeah, that triple badge. Yeah.
I hear there's a jersey available for $450.
Oh God.
They're expecting him to return maybe around week 10.
Week 10, like he's actually going to be back.
That's what. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they expected to miss 2 months from the time he was injured.
That's not
bad. I don't like him enough. 13th. I don't like him enough to like stash his Lego just like in my collection for no reason.
No, but grabbing a couple commons at this price might not be a terrible idea.
No,
yeah. He'll have like that big game back. Too. He'll have that big game back. You'll be able to dump those moments for like 2x and then like just never think about him again.
Yeah, not only that, but they're also starting to leak in. I don't know how much they keep this going, but they're starting to leak in needing the rookie badge and all day badge or the debut badge and all those like ones in the challenges. And his is a good one to eye for that. So,
yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so I guess we'll move on. We're going to do a little segment every week, and, we have to just because Stingray is here. So every week we're going to bring out Take a Shot with Sting. He's gonna tell you something he's not too happy about. So for this week, we'll see what he's got for us.
That is a slow pour.
And a good pour.
Yeah.
All right, so what are you upset about this week, Sting? What's got you going?
Well, I got to tell you guys, today I have to take a shot at all the all-day whales out there who are just tanking this market. When we first started, whales obviously were coming over from Top Shot. They had massive accounts. Top Shot was on the decline. They were getting out of Top Shot and coming into all day. Great. It pumped all of our bags. Everyone was riding high. But guess what it also was? A crypto bull run. Now that it's not, now that all money markets are down across the board, especially crypto, people that hid their money in all day have now started taking not even profits. I can't even say taking profits. I got to say taking losses. They're selling everything at a loss to get out of all day. Well, guess what? It's ruining the platform across the board. If you look at just the last 3 months, I think that you're going to see a substantial decline in moments held by, let's just call it the top 10 users. And that's because they just have been slowly but surely letting go of some of these moments that all of us thought were kind of holy grails. If you look at the price of the Patrick Mahomes debut, I bought it 2,300. Big deal. I don't really care about the money. It's not about the money. But everyone else who was looking for that moment to be, one of the flagship moments of the platform, because Mahomes is the face of the platform and it's his debut, and everyone was all up in arms about the debuts being great. Well, there's a couple accounts out there that more than like, without getting into specifics, you can see that they hold around 20 to 25 of these moments. Now it's all the way down to $1,200. This is not good for the platform across the board. We need to figure out how to get these moments out of the hands of quote unquote whales and into some smaller accounts. If the price of a Mahomes debut is going to be at $1,200, I'm not speaking for everybody, but I do think that if your account is around $8,000 to $10,000, that you should more than likely go after one of these moments while they're still low, because once they're distributed into the hands of smaller accounts, they're going to become more collector's items and not something that's going to be held for a long period of time, just waiting for like new users to come in. If it's considered a collector's item, which I truly believe that Mahomes debut should be a collector's item, then it should go to smaller accounts and they should be held for long periods of time. The shot that I have to take, though, is if you put so much money into one single investment, whether that is all day or whether that is crypto, and something happens in your life and you need to have that money available, it's completely within your right to do so, to pull that money out. Everybody has issues, but when you are hurting like the platform as a whole, I think it's time that we like find a way to get more people involved. I don't, whether that's through marketing or I honestly don't know, but just getting more people on board so that you can get all of these moments out of big accounts and into distributed more throughout the platform, because that's the only way it's going to make it stable. If two or three people, not even two or three people, if like 10 people hold, what's like say 15% of the market cap, then anytime that those people want to sell and they have to lower their prices to sell it, it's going to tank the market for the rest of us. I think that's the end of my shot, but I'm going to throw it back to you guys. It's really discouraging to see the massive accounts in here that are not ruining it, but just adding, maybe hardships to the rest of the platform. How do you feel about getting that into smaller accounts' hands? I think that obviously people are limited by their financial situation, so not everyone can go and afford a $1,200 moment. But if you look and you see that 3 accounts have, I think it's like something like 40 Mahomes debuts in their accounts, and they're all for sale, there should be like some mass like movement between some of the other top account holders to get those out into the public more. I don't even know how you would do it. Like without, there's honestly a part of me that thinks that maybe we should all be working together to be like stacking those moments. There's so many people in like discords all across the platform that I know have the ability to get those moments into their account. And I think that everyone is so afraid that they're going to fall lower that they're just waiting for a bottom. And in that case, it's going to get gobbled up by another whale. And the same process will happen over again.
I think a lot of this comes back to all day in the marketing, though. I mean, honestly, because I don't know what the number is, and I'm sure there's a math equation for it. We need X many base users and new users to count you need an X number to counteract all the whales on the platform. So I mean,
100%.
a lot of this falls on AD too, because I mean, think about Playbook. How many new users did we get that came in for the first couple weeks of Playbook? Can't afford to stick with it because you have a $50. You have a the first 2 weeks a $50 burn, still about a $40 to $45 burn, just to get into it. And are the rewards worth the effort? And we have a lot of people chasing, and I think that's a lot of the whales. That's what they were chasing. I mean, look at the amounts of money they're spending on things too, and the amounts they're picking up. Like you said, you buy 40, 50, 100, and I mean, I have to admit, I mean, I stacked 75 Tuas, and
Right.
I made $1,700 clear on it, and
Right.
I think it was like 26. I think 2,600 overall and 1,700 clear, and it, I mean, I understand it, but not everybody's going to be able to do that. I mean, it's a rare thing, and I think everybody's chasing that legendary, chasing that. You have a 5% chance at a legendary. It's one out of 20, and everybody's going for it. And when they don't get it, it's like, oh, poor me. Oh, I'm a victim now, and
Right.
this is all somebody else's fault. But it's
I think one of the things, like, and you kind of hit on it, is so you obviously personally stacked Tua. Those were what was your base cost average for Tua?
Yeah, I think it was $14.70, I believe.
Okay, and so that was not. I don't mean this in a negative way, but that you were limited to stacking those Tuas by your purse, right?
Yeah.
So like you right. So when you look at a whale, and you look at someone, especially a whale coming over from Top Shot, and we know how much big money was in Top Shot, and that Top Shot money. All of that Top Shot money came from the crypto bull market. I'm not saying all of it, but a big portion of that TS came out in the crypto bull run, and people were buying $1 million LeBrons. That's just not a normal thing. Nobody right now would buy $1 million LeBron. So when you look at like what you did and what like I attempted to do with my Rogers Rare pathetically, and you know how that worked out. But when you look at what a whale can do, when you take something and it's a $2,000 moment and you're stacking it, well, I mean, good for you. That's awesome. But it's kind of like outside of our wheelhouse. And when something like this does happen, I think it's upon the other users to kind of gobble those up. Like I'm debating now whether or not I want to buy a second Mahomes debut or the Tua Lego. But it's like, really, I don't want a second Mahomes debut. I don't need a second Mahomes debut at all. Those moments should be distributed between users who actually like want them and don't have them. And I don't know a solution to that aside from there is a lot of community and there is a lot of like help between users. Like I know for one instance, One Whale is always willing to work with you and like deal with you if it came down to that. And like I said, I don't know the solution, but getting moments into users' hands is going to be huge, and so that it doesn't become like a purely crypto platform. I mean, what was the
Dapper is not that's I think that's another misconception. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, go ahead.
But that's one of those things that irks me. Dapper is a digital wallet, just like any other digital wallet, where you can use a credit card. I mean, it's for the layman, it's for the fans.
Yes,
I mean, I'm one of the ones who is very vocal about getting back to old school, personal, hardcore, down on the surface marketing. Like, take that poster and staple it to that telephone pole, so everybody who goes by sees it,
right.
and it piques interest, because we're in a world where social media is just rampant, and everybody thinks, oh, we posted on social, it'll go viral, and that is not the case. It's like a 0.00000 whatever percent
right
is actually the case. And I mean, you're talking about like NFL fans. It's I'm thinking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's your blue collar, hard nosed workers who, built, people who built everything here. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And all we're doing is marketing to. You can't market to the big whales. You need to market to everybody. I mean, you know what?
And that's and that you do see a lot of marketing geared towards like it being a crypto, and I agree with you. I don't think it should be even considered a crypto. It should be considered a playing card.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Is like going back to what you were saying in the whole rant, not the rant. That's a terrible word. Going back to what you were saying in you take a shot is it's I was thinking playing cards the whole time, right? So like no one's gonna go out. Say there's a card in a pack that's 1 of 100, right? No one's gonna go and try to find all 100 and own them.
No,
that's
never.
not what people do, right? So
that's a great point.
That's what the whales here are doing. They're cornering the market. They're pulling all of their stuff to one side, and they're saying, "I set the value for this because I own a majority of this." Right. So that's a terrible way to look at it. Why not spread it out and let the community set the value of the moment they love, right? So if you're like, I go back to the trading cards. The trading cards are going to be worth an astronomical amount of money if one person owns them all and says, okay, I can sell this at this price because you have no other option.
Right.
But that's the worst way in my mind to do it, is like, why not let them be spread out to 100 separate people and say, okay, as a team, we now set the value.
Right.
Like that's just, and it's so much more affordable that way. You don't have one person like monopolizing.
I think that's what you're seeing happening right now, though.
Yeah, 100%.
Most people are leaving or diversifying their accounts.
That's true. Yes.
Whatever they're doing.
In the moment, they're selling out now, and it's starting to trickle down, and it's setting, like you said, the Mahomes debut is at 1,200. I think that's a pretty good spot for it, honestly. The 2,300, 2,400, 2,500 that it was at is only because the whales existed, right? So now that it's spreading out a little bit more, it's settling. I think now everyone's like, oh my God, we lost half our money, but
yeah,
I think it's important to recognize there's only 5 before it hits 1,500 again, though. Also, like there's not
right.
Yeah. Once I own one and you own one, you know what I mean? Once people start owning one and they're holding on to that, you'll start seeing it naturally rise up.
No, and it's getting people to stay in the platform too. It's doing the right things and keeping that balance.
And needing to have a Mahomes, like why do you need to have that debut? Well,
why do you need to have that debut? And I mean, obviously,
for the challenge for the playbook this week, you need to have that debut.
Yeah, that is
true. But outside of a one-time bonus.
Yeah, and you're talking about a challenge that's going to go away next week, and say those 5 moments get burnt up, not burnt literally, but if they get bought up for the challenges by 5 people who want to complete the challenges, what's going to happen? We already talked about what's going to happen the day that challenge ends. They're going to dump them for $1,200 again.
Unless there's a reward going forward. I mean, I'm one of the ones who keeps on mentioning this, and I know it starts all right half the time, but I think they need to reward sets and people who have invested in across the platform. And one way to do that is it's not giving out free stuff. It's placing value on keeping that together and long-term holding. Which say you get 50%, we got 50 points for the challenge this week, and if they pick another set next week, you get a number for that. But how about if you have that complete lock-in set? How about some incentive, even if it's just you get an extra 10 or 15 point bonus every week you hold that set that you could put towards your challenges. So it negates one of the challenges if you can't get it, but it helps you build your collection as you move along. I don't think they're looking at the cause and effect and things that they can implement that have an actual impact on the market and stabilizing that market and slowly bringing it up. And that another thing is the accountability of the actual user base. We have to also be cognizant of our actions and realize that we have to look at this long term, not the short term. I need this now. I need to flip this. I need to get like me. I mean, I didn't need to do those 75 tours to make money. I could have easily taken that money, invested in other things, and built out my collection. But I think more people need to do that instead of just looking at it as this flip money game.
Yeah. And talking about taking shots, I mean, I'll take a shot at myself even and say that when I first started this, the reason that I got into this was because crypto was tanking so hard. I took all my Bitcoin money and I put it into all day. And to me, it was just a safer bet at the time. Well, through going through this and seeing how this market is just as volatile as any other market, people need money and they're going to take it out when they need it. Well, switching my mindset from being like, oh, I want to buy this moment because I think it's going to pump, to buying this moment because I really love this moment. For instance, the last legendary that I bought was the Lamar Lego, and I bought it because it's a historic moment. I mean, he longest rushing touchdown record. So I bought it because I want it and I want to support the player. And I feel like when I have that player's moment in my collection, that I'm supporting that player. So, and just like with the Tua, I want to buy the Tua and I'll buy it eventually when I get around to it. But it's just to support it. And it's not, I think that my mindset changed when I realized that it's harder to sell things in a pump than it's thought to be, because you can miss that top so easily, and then you're left like with this bag of whatever it is, and you're undercutting yourself, and it just becomes a nightmare at that point. So if
It's
you
so
have
much work.
something, it is so much work. So if you have something that you really enjoy, then you're not going to want to let go of it as easily. Like, for instance, for me, that Mahomes debut, I don't even think it's that great. I bought it because it was a high dollar moment, and I was like, oh, Mahomes is the face of the platform. It was like 6 months ago. I thought we were going to the moon, baby. So I bought it, and I was like, this is going to be $5,000 when the season starts, and I'll dump it off because I was not attached to that moment. I could care less about it. But with Lamar, even if Lamar did get to $5,000, I don't think I'm selling it. I think I'm holding it like an idiot, like, because I don't want to get rid of that moment.
Right. That's what we need from
Right
people.
now, I'm willing to dump that Mahomes for $1,200 to buy the Tua Lego. No joke. I'm almost at that point. I don't care. I'll take the $1,300 loss.
Where's the platform directing us though? It's directing us to like more along the lines of how I'm collecting. You need to own everything. And I said this the other day. I mean, AD is like Jorge Masvidal with the extra punches. When he knocked out, what was it, Askren?
Yeah.
And they were super necessary. It's super necessary for me to have 395 extra moments because that's what AD is telling me that I have to do to compete every week to get something. When they're also saying, and they've said it since day one, collect what you love. But why collect what you love when you lose money doing it? They need to find a balance of, what is it? Is it collect what you love, or we're going to dictate to you how this platform is going to be run and force you to own everything? And that's all that they're doing right now. And here's my rant. And that's it. I feel like we're being dictated to on how to do things. And there's also no transparency, and there's no roadmap for us to even look at and say, is this a collecting platform or is this 100% gamification? Because right now it's 100% gamification. It's not collecting, but that's what they pushed this as in the beginning. And I know a lot of us love collecting and think this is the future of collecting along with gamification. And where's that balance? And AD, I'm asking you straight out, where is that balance?
Right.
We do need that balance for sure. I think though, let's take a step back. Let's take a step back, everyone. Get it calm down in here. Let's go over some of these. We got a few questions. We're gonna do a short Q&A at the end of every episode. Just even everyone back out. Calm her down a little bit. But for now, we got a couple questions from some users we're gonna bring up. And we'll go over them real quick and just see. We've already talked about this in a little bit. We got, how do you feel about the current usage of rares and legendaries in the playbook? I don't feel any good way about it personally. In the playbook itself, using the wild card, especially on the Lego end, is a little crazy for the average user. They're spicing up. They're doing rares here and there. That's okay. I think the rare and legendary, I don't know if you guys agree, is going to come outside of playbook, as we saw last week with like the defensive rare, or this week, I guess. That's more of where I feel that belongs and will will do well if implemented, frequently. So I don't know about you guys, but is there any way we think we could pull the rares and legendaries into Playbook and make it work, or is that just too high cost for most people?
I think that's too high cost for most people. I think Playbook is kind of geared towards introducing people to the platform and kind of sucking them into coming back week in, week out, and investing in wider array of moments as Phoenix has kind of done.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
And
I think that's the only way to do it, right? Is like Playbook should be achievable. Maybe you have to spend, $100, $150, even $200 a week finishing off Playbook, but I don't see any reason why anyone would go above that. Which leads us literally into our second question of, are the rewards in Playbook worth the cost of entry?
There's that balance again.
Exactly. Like, is it? Not right now. It's not.
What's so just a question to add on to that is, what is the highest moment that anyone's gotten from a Playbook challenge reward?
Oh,
mine's $50. I got 2 rares in 1 week, and they were $50 a piece by the time everyone was done undercutting them, and I actually sold it.
yeah,
So
I got the
100
Bateman
bucks.
week 1, and I think it was 125 to start off
Yeah.
when it first came out.
Did you sell?
Yeah, one
Okay,
of them.
so-
I got 2 in the same.
Yeah.
So I
Nice.
still have the other one. I think
Well,
it's at like
you
94,
don't really
95.
count. You're like pack luck crazy over here. I don't know how you do it. Like, you're the luckiest guy I know. But
Well, see,
but no, I
mine
mean,
is a little bit. Mine goes off both. So my actual highest card or highest moment I've pulled in a Playbook pack is the Justin Fields rare. So it's what, like
Same.
50, $48 right now, whatever that is. But I think of the other things about Playbooks. You get 12 moments total. You have to burn 5 of them, and then the other ones are sitting anywhere around 8. So you end up making, if the cost of entry to Playbook was 150 max, if everyone only had to spend like 150 to complete every challenge, I think they come out about even on that number, about 150. Because they're going to have to burn 50 of their $50 worth of their collection the next week if they don't complete Playbook, right?
right.
So it comes out to about 150, but right now you're seeing bottlenecks that are, Dallas Goddard, for God's sakes,
Oh, God.
made it
Oh,
where people
no.
just couldn't do it, right?
So
like,
So sad.
I forgot to mention this earlier. For the challenge today, the Baltimore Ravens are a fucking another bottleneck. Sorry for cursing there. But
In what way?
yeah, it's Rashad Bateman again, his rookie moment. It's the only one
No.
that they have. Yeah,
No. How
that
much is he sitting at right
it's
now?
a Lego, right?
2100.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
Lego. Yeah,
that's a bummer.
and they
So,
have
like,
a good chance at doing it. You need
Wait,
one.
I'm
rookie
sorry. It
moment-
has to be a debut.
one rookie mint moment.
yeah, a rookie from
Ah.
the team with the most, what is it, receiving yards or highest points?
Rushing, most rushing yards.
Oh, yeah. So there's just bottlenecks like that make it where the average user, and then once you get behind, you're behind, right? If you get to 60 or 80 yards and you have to burn 5 moments to get those 3 and 4 star packs, then the next week going in, you're already behind. So that's the problem, is you just keep having to pump money in order to get the commons back to burn, which is crazy. And we're leading right into our questions, Will, though. Someone else asked, burning has been a big part of all day up to this point. Do you think this continues every single week from here on out, burning 5 moments? And if so, what's the effect on the floor of common moments?
I'm really hoping that we see a rare burn at some point.
See, that'd be
Yeah.
sweet. Like, what, burn 1 rare just to get the
burn
premium
one
unlocked
rare
or
to get
whatever?
it. Yeah, exactly.
Choice.
Instead of
Give,
the
give-
5.
give everybody a choice.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Like, tier it to
because then you're getting rid of
Well,
those
well,
$39, $49 rares.
Yeah.
Well, did anybody look at the actual overall number of moments burned in AD and versus TS
I
lifetime?
noticed that yesterday.
And it's pretty much dead even.
Yeah.
I mean, so AD is definitely doing the right thing with the burn, I think, personally.
Okay, but
And-
that's a little scary at the same time, though. You realize that you are just burning literal money away, right?
Well, the burning the money, yes, but you like, so for instance, the
If you spend
I'll go back to that
$40
Shepard moment though, right? Like, if say everyone burns
God.
it, it's
Yeah.
at 6 or 7 right now. Say everyone's gonna burn that moment, and the mint count hits, 1,000 because of people burning it. This is just for instance. I never know if it'll go that low. There's so many commons to burn, whatever. But if it gets to 1,000 and then all of a sudden he's needed for any reason ever, it spikes to the moon.
Yeah.
Because there's only 1,000 of them. So
well, there's also that little catch too, where it's like if you burn so many moments, how many Tyler Heineke's been burned so far?
all of them.
3,000. Okay, so that doesn't mean everyone needs to realize then that only say it's 4,000, only 6,000 base sets can even exist now.
That's
and I have 2 of them.
You're also getting the supply and demand evened out too, because you're getting moments off the market and as we, you got to keep a balance of that too. You got to get more people in here too, and more people, less moments, and a chance for those to spike. I mean, the math, at the end is overall less moments, less supply, more demand coming in too. I mean, there's a lot of things that play into that.
Yeah, I love burning. I think it needs to stick around. I think the moments that are a 10K mint count need to, dwindle down to all of a sudden, because people were even saying, 10K is low compared to Top Shot. If they keep it at 10K, we'll be in a great spot. I agree with that. But if that 10K can shrink even further down, and then there's possibilities that those moments will be needed as well, it could really get, it could be more fun, I think, for sure.
I mean, I'm even thinking, and I don't even know the math on this, but I'll just throw it out there, and without even a thought, if it's even relevant or not. But what about the whales that are dumping now? Like, what about some sort of burn challenge for them, and to give them something more? You stockpiled, these 25 legendaries or something. Burn some Legos, make them worth a little bit more money, make them a little more scarce, and get an ultimate or something like that. I mean. Someone would have to do the math, but I'm sure there's something that could be done to kind of limit that and maybe keep them in the game a little bit longer, considering the money they spent.
Well, I'm sure we'll see some crafting at some point.
Yeah.
Crafting
challenges is the only way.
I mean, you got to look at it. You got to look at every
we got
level.
13 weeks left of the
we
season, so
we need to keep everybody in here who's already in here, and we also need to onboard new people. And it's there's a fine balance,
which is extremely scary, actually. Blaze, you just said there's only 13 weeks left in the season.
Yep.
So you have to
18 weeks, I guess. Sorry. So yeah.
Well,
but either way, there's
but
not
of
a lot
regular
left.
season though, there's probably 13. So what's going on with actual pack drops outside of has there been any news about actual pack drops outside of Playbook and how often they plan on doing them, like an official announcement? Because we're getting close to so we're a quarter of the way through the season already.
I think we'll see them every 2 weeks based upon the fact that
that's what I was thinking too.
And is it going to be? I just have a feeling that they're going to dump a whole bunch of season 2 moments on the market at once, and that's when you're going to see all the season 2 moments go down. In which case, those are great burning opportunities for season 2, so that you can save your season 1. In which case, for instance, I didn't do anything in Top Shot. I got in too late. I didn't have a whole bunch of money in there. But the only thing that you really wanted in Top Shot was season 1. But Top Shot Series 1 was a little weird. There weren't too many great moments. There weren't too many great players even. They kind of just had this random assortment of guys. Well, if they keep dropping moments for Series 2 on all day, then that's going to give us, and this kind of is to validate some of my worries too, is it's going to give us great opportunities to burn Series 2 to save our Series 1, because I'm kind of at the point now where I don't have anything that I want to burn specifically for Series 1. I want to save my Series 1. Yeah. So if you give me Series 2 stuff, I'm going to burn them all day.
Right.
But I'm not going to burn. I'm not going to burn my Series 1, because Series 1 down the line in Series 5, unless there's some great breakout players, I'm not. People who are just going and willy-nilly burning, Josh Allen and I'm gonna burn a Brady, like that guy wanted to be the first to burn a Brady. Well, good for you. You just wasted 250 and no one even cares. No one all day is not giving you a fucking gold star. Sorry. They're not giving you any kind. So
Congratulations on your tweet.
Yeah, exactly. Congratulations
You're
on your
awesome.
tweet. Like, I don't know what that person was thinking, or if
Yeah.
he thought that maybe people were just going to jump on the bandwagon of burning Brady's, but you're just sorely mistaken.
Dead wrong.
Dead
is what you-
wrong.
That's
Yeah.
what
I
you
got
are.
breakfast. I'm gonna burn them.
Sometimes you just want to brag to friends.
Yeah. Sometimes you just want to watch the world burn.
All right,
I
so I
don't
think we
know.
got 2 more questions in here real quick, and then we'll wrap this one up for the day. Micah Parsons rare has held up well with the release of his common moment, which is very true. Do you think the Brady rare common or any similar moments like that will hold their value with the release of more moments? So we saw this in Top Shot as well, right? Where you had the big players up and then they put 800 LeBron moments. Not really. It was a lot, but a lot of LeBron moments out. And then the originals did hold value from what I remember though, right? So I don't think like the Brady debut is going to significantly fall off of any little common moment they put in him. I don't know. I might be wrong though.
So one of the things that, I mean, obviously everyone here knows how I feel about Brady, but Brady is not a fantasy machine. And
No.
you've seen it in the execution of Rumble. No one's out there buying Brady's for Rumble. Like, it's just not happening. So so this comes back to the question of, if they release another common, say an S2 common of Brady, I don't really think that the Series 1 is going to fall that much, because nobody's out there gobbling up Brady to dump him after Rumble's over. Does that make sense? So like, it's unless he's needed for Playbook, I don't really see it happening, and he's not needed for Playbook yet.
Brady is a collector's piece, I think, and because he only had. I mean, this is probably his last year. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Unless him and Giselle end up on the splits, and he just plays another 5 years, which is possible with him. You never know. Those are more collector's pieces. I think it's, and I mean, like, I thought Big Ben would be a collector's piece, but I was obviously wrong on that too.
Right.
Or Gronk. I mean, or any of those.
Gronk is just
I think
tragedy.
eventually, though.
Don't even talk to me about Gronk, man. That's my one. If I had a rant for the day,
and that's why it's like, I went on my rant before, the gamification. Because of the gamification, Big Ben's last touchdown, it's irrelevant.
Yeah,
not to me. I sold that moment for $250 on release.
Really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's what, 20 now?
Well, this brings up a good point though. Like, I collect all the sets that I can. I mean, I don't go crazy. I don't collect the rare sets, and I don't collect the legendary sets, but I collect all the common sets, because for the gamification purposes, it serves your purpose, and I don't have to really buy anything for Playbook. And if I do, it's usually like $100. But you see people. There were reports of people spending upwards to like $800 to complete the first Playbook. And it was like,
somebody posted $1,100 this.
Yeah. What are you doing with your life that you want to, like, for 5 free packs? And
at that point, you're chasing a Lego that might not even be worth $1,100. Like,
yes,
that's the
100%.
only possible saving grace is a Lego there. And like, you aren't going to hit it, first of all. And if you do, you still might lose money, which is insane.
They had like a 4% chance to actually break even.
Yeah.
Possibly break even.
Right. That's absurd to me.
I have really bad pack luck. I've never pulled anything other than my highest pull was a Micah Parsons rare. And it was like, at the time it was like $450, but there really is no incentive for me to buy packs, because I'm not disillusioned, but I am like realistic in the sense that I'm not expecting to pull a legendary. I'm just not.
Right.
And if I want the moment, then I will either sell off somehow to get it, or save and get it, or whatever, because I want it as like this Lamar. It took me losing $600 on Devontae Adams legendary to get out of that moment. That was the worst purchase I've ever made. But I was able to finally sell it and then pick up something that I actually wanted, which, not to get all weird, like touchy-feely, but it made me feel better about my collection as opposed to just sitting there and waiting for something to either appreciate or depreciate in value. And, you know, if Devontae Adams doesn't do anything, which I don't think he's going to this year, that moment really should be priced at $1,500. It's my own fault for overspending on it, which brings us back to my rant about if all these whales are overspending on things such as, like, let's just say serial numbers. There's a lot of people that do not care about serial numbers at all. I mean, I would say 98% of the platform doesn't care about serial numbers. There's
I'll agree with you.
Yeah, people that care about serial numbers have like some sort of OCD or I don't know. But either way, like yeah, I know, me too. But I'm just, let's be honest, I can't afford the number ones, and I can't afford the jerseys. And so I just kind of like accepted that in my head, and I don't chase those kind of things. But I would still, even if I really, really wanted it, wouldn't spend the extra money, because I would rather have like 5 moments as opposed to the one when I overspend for
I'm the same way, I think,
jersey. Because I think that in the long run, I'm going to get more packs, and more packs equals more moments and more stuff I don't actually have to buy. It all kind of just rolls into one. Whereas, you know, there a lot of the whales, and it's not even one person in particular, they just like in Top Shot, jerseys were really big in Top Shot, and it kind of became this known thing that, you know, people were jersey hunting and serial hunting. And I even did it for a little bit just because I like low serials, but I got to the point where I was like, why did I just spend even, let's say, $20 more for this moment when I could have bought a 4 moment? And now I just have a big negative 19 on my account value for that moment.
Well, in Top Shot, those number ones and those jerseys and all those special serial numbers just hit a wall at one point, and it just all stopped. It literally just, I mean, it went off. It fell off a cliff. Who was it? Dingaling who bought all those jerseys and ones?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Top Shot. And he started, and the trend was started with that, and you know, it was good for, you know, a while, and then all of a sudden it was. I mean, I was stuck with, when I left Top Shot, I had 8 jerseys and 2 number ones, which I think 7 of those I lost money on in the end, liquidating.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. So for the last question here, let's get into the last question, and it's going to be a short one. I think everyone's on the same page here. How do we feel about being able to sell sets or moments in general as a bulk unit? There's no way they don't implement a better way to sell things. I am just angry, I think, every time I'm trying to sell. I had 45 David Njoku's that I sold when he pumped. And it was incredible and terrible at the same time. I think I ended up having to undercut myself solely because of how slow I could list.
Right.
They have to have a better way to do that, I'm sure.
So I'll just step in really quick about this, but the selling of sets to me is a huge collector's bonus. Maybe there's people who want to come in to All Day who are like, wow, that's really awesome. And if you think about it from a card perspective, what do you do like when you collect cards? You buy a box, you rip the packs, you stick them in sleeves, and you leave blank spaces. So if you put them in order, which is, I'm crazy, I'm OCD, I have it, you know, you go 1, 2, 3, 4 in the set, and you leave the space open for if you rip a pack and you get number 2, then it goes in the empty spot, right? Well, if you're coming into All Day and you're looking at this platform and you're like, oh man, like where do I go? Like if you go to the All Day website, you're not going to see all the moments that you need for the base set. You're just, you'd have to search through whatever. You would have to know to go to OTM to search by series 1 and to go to base set. And then it would tell you which one you own and which one you don't. Like I believe that the All Day website does it to a degree now, but it's not like, it's not as detail oriented as on the moment.
I think it just shows you what you're missing. Shows you how many you're missing.
Yes. Yeah. So like say someone had the chance to come in and be like, oh, that's really awesome. I would like to own like, make the stop. It would only cost me $400. Instead of them having to go and buy each individual moment. And this is probably so far off that it doesn't even matter, because I don't know that they can even have the technology to implement this. But if you were to like, oh, there's 3 base sets up for sale. One of them is, a good cereal. Like all of them have triple digits, say. That one's going to cost more than, say, one that has like 9,000 cereals in it.
Mm-hmm.
It would just be a cool feature. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
like I said, I don't know if the technology is even there to implement that. But as a collector, it would be really cool to be able to, like, I would go and buy a Top Shot one, Series 1, base set 1, the whole thing. If you could just buy it, I'm not going to go through. I'm not going to go through and individually buy those moments, because it would take forever, and you'd have to meticulously watch it like we do with everything, and then be like, oh, I think that's a good price. But if you could go and buy like the whole set, I think that might be, a draw.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like on the challenge where they said like you have to own the locked in set. Well, a lot of people aren't going to look, but if they're like, okay, I can just buy the whole thing at once. Yeah, I mean, of course it's overspending, but
yeah, but no,
sure.
That's a great point though. That's a great point though, because buying the locked in set as one set would be equivalent to buying a Lego.
Yeah.
Price wise.
Yeah.
So, and you could do that if you wanted.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody have any final thoughts, final moments before we wrap up here? Let's go ahead and wrap up with just saying.
Hold on. I would just like to say that Lamar is awesome and he's killing the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, yeah, I think we're pretty good today. We'll be back again with the next episode shortly. Again, if you guys want to tune in, get your questions in, we'll be glad to answer anything in the Q&A section, and stick around and see what Stingray's got going on for his rant next week. So.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. But
all right, guys. Hey, it's been a pleasure, you guys.
I'm out of here.
Cheers.
All of you have a good day.
You too. Go enjoy some
Football
football.
today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Later,
Talk to
everyone.
you guys later.